The Brooklyn Nets win their fifth straight and could be adding yet another piece. The Sacramento Kings literally can't get out of their own way. Is there a coaching change on the horizon? And Gordon Hayward's hair gets dislodged for the first time in his NBA career. But it was on a great dunk. It was absolutely worth it. We'll show it to you. Hey, I'm Taz Mellis, and this is what you need to know in the NBA for Tuesday, March 16th. Good morning, the Sacramento Kangs. Stay the Kangs. Yes, I know you've heard this before, but it is getting a little ridiculous and almost unbelievable. It's like they're blocking themselves, which De'Aaron Fox literally did at the end of this game as the Hornets came back to take the lead against Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox went up and hit the rim as he tried to lay it in. This is a star player who's having trouble scoring here on a layup attempt. I know Bismack Biyombo was after him, but that is going to be a Shaqtin moment all over the place this week, and someone's going to pay for it in Sacramento. The Kings led by 15 in the third quarter. The Hornets fought back to win. Luke Walton's head coaching job, it's got to be in jeopardy. I didn't buy it when it came up a few weeks ago, but it is getting out of hand. They need someone to bring this thing together like Gordon Hayward's hair usually is together. Hayward, well, yeah, it became dislodged after a monstrous jam, a minute 30 left. Gordon Hayward looking like Utah Gordon Hayward, and the hair coming out of place. On Twitter, Owen Samayan wrote this to me, something I would definitely write. He dunked so hard, his hair messed up, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Got my singing in for the morning. Feels good. After the game, it was revealed that Kings Marvin Bagley fractured his hand. It's getting worse and worse in Sacramento. Good luck to Luke. On the other side of the country, things are looking good. The Brooklyn Nets are so good, it's a little unfair. They played the Knicks Monday, and they weren't getting enough stops in the first half. This is what makes them so dangerous. They could keep an offensive creator like Harden in the game, as Steve Nash did, and he said, let's get a little D around him. They bring in guys like Bruce Brown and Nick Claxton to get the D going, and it worked. Throw in Kevin Durant when he comes back. They've got too many weapons. Harden finished the game with 21, 15, and 15. Kyrie had 34. The game did end on a bit of a strange call against Julius Randle, who went up for a three-point shot. Kyrie got a piece of it. Randall landed, tried to put it on the floor. Then he chucked it up and missed a three-point shot, but Scott Foster called him for a travel because he put it on the floor. I've never heard of that rule that Scott Foster said if it came a little bit loose, he could put it on the floor, but that was a travel. Either way, the Nets are a half game back of Philly for first in the East, and they could get better. No joke. With the trade deadline 9 days away, the Nets are rumored to want the Cavs' JaVale McGee, according to Yahoo's Chris Haynes. That's three-time champion JaVale McGee. They do need a backup five. It makes sense. He would be perfect in that role, and that leads me to ask, what will Blake Griffin's role be? Yeah, Blake Griffin is on this team. The backup four or the backup five? Looks more and more like he'll be the backup four and just more of a cog on this team and not a main part. Looks like he'll be coming off the bench. He did not make his debut for the second straight game since being traded. He's getting back into playing shape after missing the last few weeks. But I like this little note from an interview he had with ESPN's Malika Andrews. She asked him whether or not we will see vintage Blake dunks. He said, "I promise I can still dunk." My question, what's the protocol with tissues on the bench? James Harden got a tissue, didn't blow, and then he went for a high five. I guess he didn't blow before the high five, so all good with James Harden there. Tissues are allowed on the bench. I don't know. There's a lot of rules. Speaking of blowing, the Lakers blew out the Warriors. Wasn't close. A disappointing national TV showing for the Dubs. Could have been some birthday party hangover for Golden State because Steph turned 33 on Sunday. Two noteworthy things from this one. The first involving Steph. He became the Warriors' all-time leader in assists during this game. Yeah, he didn't hold the record until this point. That belonged to the late, great Hall of Famer, Guy Rogers. Second noteworthy thing, Kyle Kuzma airballed a technical free throw. You don't see this very often. Golden State picked Kuzma to shoot the free throw, and it worked perfectly. Wide left. Kuzma joked about it after the game, saying there must have been an earthquake. The Warriors bench absolutely loved it. One thing I love about All-Star Devin Booker is that he clearly has some beefs with people. He's got some gripes. It's great. He doesn't like Memphis's Dillon Brooks, and it was apparent on Monday when the Suns faced the Grizzlies. Although, Book doesn't show it that outwardly. He's a cool customer. He dropped 27 on the Grizz despite not needing the fourth quarter to add to that total. And he has a lot of debts to pay for all the losing the Suns have done over the years. But the Suns aren't losing now. These current Suns like paying off their losses too. They lost on Saturday. They got back to the winning side of the column against the Grizzlies. It's got to be a little of that Chris Paul effect, angry after losses. They took it out on Memphis, holding them to under 100. Phoenix has won 6 of 7, 18-4 over their last 22. Good for the Phoenix franchise. It's been a long time coming. Milwaukee, Washington, the Bucks handled the Wizards, no problem. The only thing Washington could do to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo was to try to trip him, as Russell Westbrook did. Giannis had 31. Bradley Beal had 37 for Washington. And along with Beal's point total, Washington did score against the Bucks, shooting over 50%, 42 from 3, and a total of 122 points. But their D is too soft. They gave up 133 points. And I bring that up because the Bucks, well, their D is 10th best after leading the NBA the last 2 seasons. So that's a point of concern for them. Going into the postseason, they're still towards the top of the Eastern Conference, but their D just ain't the same as the last couple of years. That could be something that they try and shore up with 9 days before the trade deadline here. The Clippers were embarrassed the night before against the New Orleans Pelicans, so they came out against the Mavs with a new starting lineup. Ty Lue decided, let's put in Marcus Morris Sr. into the starting lineup in place of Nick Batum for a little get a little attitude. It worked. 7 Clippers in double figures. Clippers are 7-0 in the second half of back-to-backs. That's a good stat. Only 16 combined free throws for both teams, even though Marcus Morris's scrappiness was in this game. It was a quick one. 16 combined free throws. Can't say that too often in the NBA with all the video reviews that are happening. This is going to be a quick review of this game. Spurs, Pistons. Spurs handled the Pistons easily. This note just popped out at me when I was watching this game. When Spurs rookie Devin Vassell had a big jam, Spurs broadcaster Bill Land yelled out, "Holy coyote!" I can't get behind that, Bill. I get it. The mascot for the Spurs is a coyote. You're just saying, "Holy coyote." You know what? I like it. I changed my mind. Spurs shot only 5 free throws and won the game. They're still in the playoff picture. The San Antonio Spurs will not die. Pacers Nuggets start was pushed back an hour because a snowstorm dropped 27 inches at Denver's airport. 27 inches. Indiana couldn't land in Colorado until just hours before the game, and the Pacers were still late. Well, they were there physically, but the Nuggets took a big lead early and held off any rally attempts. Join the Daily Show on Tuesday, where we will take you through some trades that could legitimately happen as the trade deadline approaches. That's going to be a blast. Join us then. Join me tomorrow. I'll be back to give you the news as fast as I possibly can. Thanks, everybody.